So now let's talk about how to trigger on individual channels. So first off, to trigger on the individual channels, you have to bring up the menu right underneath the knob for trigger. And the source will indicate which channel you're triggering. Right now I have channel 1 triggered. And if I turn off the menu for a second, you can see that on the top right hand corner of the screen, it indicates your triggered channel is channel 1. And now I can set the trigger level to be within the wave of channel 1, right here. And now you can change this to trigger on channel 2 by selecting source and then rotating the knob to select channel 2. And now it's triggering on channel 2. As you notice, the waveform has shifted. That's because the the rising edge of the waveform that you're triggering from will always align with the middle point on the very top with the orange arrow indicated. So that's how you trigger on the individual channels. And also bear in mind that you always want to trigger on the waveform that's least likely to change, or the channel with the waveform that's least likely to change. And I'll show you why. So for example, right now, if I trigger on channel 2 and then put it here, which is within the channel 2 waveform, and I change my potentiometer so that the amplitude decreases, I get to a point where the trigger is outside of the waveform and you lose your entire analysis. So it's always better to trigger on the waveform that's least likely to change, and in this case the input signal. You can trigger from either channel 1 or channel 2, but just keep in mind you can only trigger on one channel at a time, and that's how you trigger on individual channels.